Last night I went home crying. Do 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 do. You know when you got a song stuck in your head, but you only have like three words, and you don't even know if they're the right words. Like they're in the song, but they definitely aren't in the same like sentence. But that's all you know. You got the tune, and you got the three words. All right, here's my tip: if you've never been to a restaurant before, not like if you've ever never been to a restaurant before, like if you go to a new restaurant, right, a restaurant you've never been to before, here's how I test out the place, right? You can always go for the fancy thing, the stuff that's like, whoa, but you got to test out the water. So I like to go with the plain Jane items, right? There's the staple, my staple products, just to test it out. Like if they do this well, then some of this fancy stuff might. I'll give you an example. Went to this sub restaurant, this place that makes sandwiches, and I was looking at the menu and they had all these really cool names, right? That's how you make food fun now is you name it all fancy or something cool. Like they had like the El Dorado, the Stagecoach, the Bandit, all these like, cool little theme type sandwiches. And the naming was really cool. That's how they got me. And I wanted to try some of the really like fancy like looking names because that's how you get me with drinks too. Like if you're looking at a menu for like drinks and it's always the fancy names or the intricate names like, oh, this is the booch kabooch. That's a nothing. Don't not of that. But the I for apparently I'm sticking with the Wild West, but the South Side. No, the South Side that has nothing to do with the West. Um, the Sunset Clause. I don't know. Now I'm just combining things and holidays. I even threw a holiday in there. Clause. That's the holidays. We are getting so close to the winter, and I am so excited because, of course, like I've said many times, and I apologize for the three of you, but we moved from California to Colorado, and we're going to experience real seasons. I'm sorry, California, but we don't experience. And of course, there's like snow in some places in California, but I lived near LA, and that's just it's a quiet 75. In fact, if it's not 75, everybody freaks out, right? Like if it's 65 and there's a cloud outside, oh no, and then everybody stays inside. Or if it rains in California, you best believe nobody's going outside because it's raining. And it's a talking point. They'll walk into wherever you're working at or just as a point of conversation like, do you know it's raining outside? Like, yeah, I live here too. It's just water. People freak out for some reason. Like, I used to work at Disneyland. I know. Sorry again for the three of you. But anytime it would rain, because there's always be that famous question. The best question, I guess, not maybe not the best question, but the most frequent question I'd always get asked is when's the best time to go, right? Like when's the slowest time? Of course, now everything's wackadoo, but there was a time when you could reasonably gauge how busy Disneyland was going to be. And there was not really a season or a day or anything like that unless it was cloudy or raining. Like if there was a chance of rain or raining, a good to solid chance that it was going to be slow because people didn't like the rain and they definitely didn't like the fear of rain, right? If it's raining outside, you already know people aren't going. But if there's a chance of rain, ooh, that scares a lot more people. You know what I mean? So we're really excited about the winter because now we're going to experience like snow. Like it snowed on like November 1st a couple weeks ago, and I ran outside and realized I'm not prepared for this. But I love the snow. Like I love the cold. I've always been fascinated like with the cold, and I've always wanted to live in the cold. So this right here is a dream come true. My girlfriend, on the other hand, while she's very excited to live in the snow and the cold and experience seasons, she's never been one to like the cold. Like, her idea of just being at a good temperature is 80. And that is I'm on fire at 80. I don't know about like that's way too. I have the AC. I'm the type of guy, and sorry for those who care, but I'm the type of guy that has the AC on while I'm driving around in the car because I don't care. Even if it's cold outside, I will have the AC on inside, right? Because I want cold. I guess I could roll down the window and probably should roll down the window. And at times I do. But then, yeah, I gotta, make people listen to my music, or whatever I'm listening to. Like, I don't want to blast that outside, like, especially like a phone call, which, by the way, now I'm just jumping all over the place. Why is it? Right? Like, and see, I have a windows rolled up because even like, whatever music, podcast, even a phone call, like, I don't, it's bad enough that people have to hear one side of a conversation. I don't want them to hear both. Right. But, and then nowadays it blows my mind. Right. Because, when I was growing up, everything was landlines or very limited sources of communication. You almost had to shout to each other just that. And what did you say? It was the real game of telephone when the first telephone came out. Not when the first telephone came out. What am I? But now with cell phones, and not only cell phones, we got headphones, we got wireless headphones. Like we can whisper, right? And nobody can hear us, and we have a whole conversation. The other person can hear us just fine on the phone. But for whatever reason, everybody, right? If you look at anybody on the phone, they're all on speakerphone. For whatever reason, we all have like smartphones for the most part, and headphones or wireless headphones, like all the connectivity we could possibly ever have been asking for. And yet for some reason, we're all using the speakerphone. So there's a gargled voice coming at you and you're talking back, and now everybody can hear your conversation. And for the most part, and I've been hearing to some of these people's conversations, I apologize, you have it on speakerphone, but it doesn't sound like they want to be on the phone. So why would you be blasting it like either party? It doesn't seem like fun conversations. It's not like, oh yeah, we're gonna like go and on a Ferris wheel and see a firework and then a dragon's gonna pop out and give us ice cream. Like that sounds really exciting. But what they talk about is like, personal private information, or like, oh, I don't want to go to work, or I don't want to do that. And it's like, why would you object the world to a two-way conversation? Like the cell phone is meant to, no? Okay. Like I'm not judging anyone, or I guess I'm judging them a little bit because it's like, why, like you don't want to hear it, right? Like if I was on the phone, I was like, imagine this right now. Imagine if I'm on the phone with somebody and that person is blasting it to the world. There's going to be a lot of people that hear that and go, I don't want to hear that. I got I walk right past and just hear one side of the conversation. But now that I'm hearing both, I'm getting intrigued for no apparent reason. It's none of my business. I'm getting little bits of information, right? Because the speakerphone is horrible. Like how anybody can hear anybody's voice on speakerphone, right? Like especially in an enclosed space. Like if you're inside, it's echoing all over the place. So one person talks, echo, echo, echo. Another person talks, echo, echo, echo. What are we doing here? I don't know. Just a little thought that I had about a little rant. I don't know why I'm so. I mean, do whatever you want. Have your two-way conversations on the speakerphone or not. I'm just saying, right? Like we have the technology and we've wanted the technology to have it more like interconnective and not so public, right? Like back in school, we didn't like that people like got on an announcement thing and just could talk to us whenever they wanted, right? Or you just like walking around having your own thoughts, and then all of a sudden someone just gets on the speakerphone, starts yakking away at some news you don't want to hear about. Exactly. So why would you object other people to that horrible stuff?